Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today I have a review roundup on some products that have recently entered my collection. So some of these things I got for Christmas, some of them I purchased with my own money, and some of them were received in PR through, I think mostly through Octoly this time. So let's go ahead and get on into it. I'm going to be dividing this by 3 categories, so products I'm loving, things that are just kind of so-so, and then things I'm not loving. So let's go ahead and get started with the products that I am loving. So perhaps the most exciting, at least for me, are the eyeshadow palettes. I have recently added 2 new palettes to my collection. I have the Aether Beauty Rose Quartz Crystal Gemstone palette and the ABH Sultry palette. Let's start with the Aether Rose Quartz palette because I've been on a little bit, this one has taken me for kind of a wild ride. So this palette has been on my wish list for a very long time. Really just the whole brand Aether Beauty is always kind of on my radar. I love just what the brand stands for. They're very sustainable with their packaging. They are like child labor free, very just kind of mindful about their ingredients and their sourcing and everything. So it's a brand that I'm just always super intrigued by. One of the things that this brand does is they try to cut back on waste. So technically the palette is recyclable. Once you are finished with it, you can pop out the pans, remove the little elastic piece, and recycle the outer packaging because it's just paper. They did take out the mirror and the magnets because those are usually not recyclable. So I think that's awesome, but at the same time, that also means that there probably wasn't a ton of cost going into the packaging itself. So I would hope that the higher price tag, because this is a $58 palette, would be reflected in the quality of the eyeshadows themselves. In this palette, you are getting 4 mattes, 4 sort of metallic-y pearly shades, and then 4 more intense, almost duochrome shimmers in the center. There is something really special about these mattes. I don't normally get excited about matte eyeshadow. Like, as long as they complement the shimmers and they're blendable, I don't really care about mattes, but these mattes in particular actually make me really excited to apply matte eyeshadow because they, not only are they smooth and blendable, but the undertones of these, especially the gray and this sort of matte beige transition shade, it may just be the way that they interact with my undertones, but they blend into my skin tone so perfectly. They are just like my dream cool toned mattes. This beige actually pulls a little bit pink on my skin, which I like. It almost turns a little bit rosy. And the gray here also has a little bit of a rosy undertone, and I feel like a lot of the time with gray eyeshadow, they can sort of make your eyes look sunken in, they can make you look tired or like you have a black eye, but these grays, at least on my skin tone, don't do that at all. They actually look really, really flattering. At first, I was feeling a little bit confused because the 4 middle shades were just not really giving me the color payoff that I like to see in really any palette. I love, you guys know me, I love intense shimmers. That is like my #1 thing that I look for in palettes, and the 4 shimmers in the middle are a little bit on the sheer side. And I was kind of ready to put this into my so-so category simply because of that. Until today, I used this sort of champagne shade over my NYX glitter primer, and it knocked my socks off. Like, it made the kind of glimmeriness of that shade pop so beautifully. The only trick is to use it with a glitter primer, and I honestly forget that I own this sometimes because I don't often use it, but I really need to start using it more, even with just regular shimmers, because it makes a huge difference. It makes them pop, it makes them look super foiled. Now, if you don't own a glitter primer and that's kind of a deal breaker for you, like you don't want to have to go out and buy a glitter primer to use with this palette, I completely understand. But I am okay with it because I'm just head over heels in love with the undertones, the color story, the mattes, and honestly the shimmers. And especially these outer shimmers, the pinks and this like sort of olivey silver, those are perfect. They're buttery. They're a little bit softer shimmers, like they're not quite as shiny as these 4 center ones are, but those are really nice. It's really just those 4 middle shades. I think those 4 middle shades are kind of more meant to be like topper shades, or, you know, use them over a glitter primer or maybe wet your brush, but to me, it's worth it, and like I said, everybody has different preferences, so if you like softer shimmers, I have a feeling if you have more mature skin, you would love this because, you know, I'm always talking about how I love like really intense foiled shimmers, but that may not be your preference, and I think if that's you, you would love this. And $58 is a lot of money to blow on one eyeshadow palette, so I would say wait for a sale, and this brand has sales on their website all the time. But if it sounds like it's up your alley and you are drawn to these shades, I recommend it. I really do. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So then we have the Sultry palette, which I purchased. I got it on a really good sale on Ulta's website. This was relaunched for Black Friday this year, so this was a limited edition palette. It was discontinued for a long time. I had always wished that I had bought it while it was available, and then it was discontinued, and so I'd kind of come to terms with that I was just never going to have it. And then they relaunched it in the form of a vault for Black Friday, so it was this, a full-sized eyeliner and mascara, and then also a mini of their eye primer. So, and I ended up getting it for the same price that the palette originally was, which was $45, and I used a gift card with it, plus like Rakuten and everything. So I ended up getting it for a really good deal. And I am so glad that I bought this because I feel like between this and the Aether palette, I'm kind of set in terms of like cooler toned neutrals. I've always loved the ABH shadow formula, specifically the one that's in this palette and like the Norvina palette and the Soft Glam palette. It's just a wonderful shimmer formula. They almost feel creamy to the touch. They do have a little bit of fallout, so that's something that I'm okay with because I'll just do my eyeshadow first, or I'll just be careful. You know, it's not that big of a deal to me, but I know some people don't like that. I really don't get much fallout with the Aether palette though, so if that's a deal breaker to you, another point in favor of this one. Yeah, I love this one. It did kind of replace my Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette, and I just love it, especially the shade Cyborg here. It's like a almost purpley silver. I love that there's a gray in here. I just feel like it kind of has everything I need in terms of neutrals, and I just feel like it was a great addition to my collection. No regrets at all buying this. Next up, I finally tried Sigma brushes, and I'd been wanting to try them for a while. For the most part, ever since I started wearing makeup, I've stuck to drugstore brushes, and I like a lot of drugstore brushes, but I was finding that they were breaking after a few years, especially my e.l.f. ones. And so I was just kind of ready to try like maybe a little bit more of an investment type brush. So this is their classic face brush set, and it comes with their large powder brush F30, their famous F80 flat kabuki, which is kind of a flat foundation brush, their tapered highlighter brush F35, their soft blend concealer brush, their large angled contour brush, and then it also came with, I think this was just like a gift with purchase, their E30 pencil. So I really do feel like these live up to the hype. Out of this whole set, the one that I feel like is the most valuable to me is the F80 Flat Kabuki. I used to use foundation brushes years ago, and then I just found that they were all making my foundation look streaky, and then so I switched to a sponge. And since then, I've never really been able to find a foundation brush that actually doesn't make my foundation streaky until this one. It must just be that the bristles are very densely held together in there. It's a very soft brush, and it just gives a really smooth application. And so I feel like out of all 6 of the brushes that I tried, this is the one that I feel like is the most worth it. That's the one that I would recommend the most, but I really like all of these, and I feel like they've added a lot of value to my brush collection. The large powder brush, very soft, great size for just dusting powder all over the face. The tapered highlighter brush is great for setting the under eyes, or also would be great for highlighter. The soft blend concealer brush, this is the one that it feels really great and well made, but it's just not as useful to me. I just don't love this shape, I think, for blending out concealer. It's a very small tapered brush, and so far I've only tried it for concealer. I may like it for other things, but I think I still prefer a sponge for my concealer. But I think this might be nice for either like cream highlighter or maybe even contour. And then the large angled contour brush is great for, I think, more so powder contour. I probably wouldn't use this for cream contour because it's a little bit fluffier than what I like for that, but it would be great for powder contour, bronzer, or even blush. That's what I've used it for. Really nice shape for like a more targeted blush application. And the pencil brush is really nice for like a smudgy liner on the lower lash line. That's what I used it for today. So I haven't had any shedding with them, and they just feel very sturdy. So obviously I can't speak to the longevity of them because I've only had them for a few weeks, but loving them so far, and I'll definitely keep you posted on how well they do hold up through washes and things like that. But very happy to finally have tried Sigma brushes. The other two things in my loves category are hair products. So I've been on a little bit of a hair care journey over the past few months. I used to just not care that much about hair care, but lately I've been getting more into it, and these are two things from Eva NYC that I also purchased in that same Ulta order that I bought the Sultry Palette because I was in need of a new conditioner and a new scalp scrub. So this is their Main Magic 10-in-1 conditioner and their Deeptox exfoliating salt shampoo. I'm loving both of these. First of all, the scent. Eva NYC has amazing scents. I also love their therapy session hair mask, and I love that one so much that I was just kind of in the mood to try some more from that brand. So the Main Magic 10-in-1 conditioner has a very similar smell to the therapy session hair masks. If you like that smell, you would like this too. I can't use a hair mask every time I wash my hair because otherwise it would just be too much for my hair, but this is a great just basic conditioner. I do feel like my hair has felt really healthy and soft since using this, so I'm enjoying it. It says it's for normal to dry hair types. I wouldn't say that my hair is particularly dry. It's more like the ends can get a little dry, but I am a little oily at the roots, but I don't feel like this has made my hair oily or too oily too quickly. So loving that one. And then the Deeptox exfoliating salt shampoo is also nice. So I've kind of been on the hunt for a good scalp scrub. I do really like the Zion Health one, but I was kind of looking for one that was a little bit more easy to access for me. So this one, same scent. What I love about this one is that it can double as a shampoo, so you don't have to use a separate shampoo after using the scrub. It's kind of like a 2-in-1 type product, so I love that. The interesting thing about this is that some of the scrubby particles are really big, like like thick chunks of salt, and then there are some finer little pieces as well, but I do feel like it does, oh, sweet baby. I've got a baby in my lap here. But I do feel like it's very clarifying, which is what I need in a product like this, because my scalp gets just very greasy and it can get a lot of buildup, and I just feel like this really does clarify it. It makes my hair feel super clean, and I do feel like I can go a little bit longer between washes when I have used this. So loving that one. I still don't know if I like it quite as much as the Zion Health one, just because the particles in here are just so big, but at the same time it's a nice gel consistency, and it does spread out evenly over my scalp. It's not that it's like too thick or anything, but I think I do prefer just like a slightly finer exfoliating particle. But I could see myself buying this over and over again just because it is available at Ulta, and it's just easier for me to get, and I can get points and stuff like that. So, okay, so getting into my kind of just okay category, I have a few products that were sent to me in PR through Octoly from Amika. I've been loving most of the products I've tried from Amika, but these just weren't really for me. This was a set of 3 of their like volumizing products. So it came with their Brooklyn Bombshell Blowout Spray, their plus size Perfect Body Mousse, and their thick volumizing base. This thick volumizing base was the first one that I tried, and this almost feels like a paste or like a putty. It's extremely sticky, and the first time I used it, I used way too much of it, even though I didn't feel like I used very much at all. So you need just like the tiniest amount of this, but it really does deliver on the claims. Like, it is very volumizing. I just don't think it's my kind of volume. It's just not really my preference. And I feel like the same kind of goes for all 3 of these. I like very like light, airy volume. I don't really like to feel like I have a ton of product in my hair, but I feel like all of these kind of have that sticky sort of product-y feeling, which may be what you're going for. Like, the thick base does give volume, but it just makes my hair feel so sticky, and like, I just don't enjoy the feeling of it. The mousse, like I said, it does give volume, but it just, I feel like I can just feel it in my hair, and I also feel like it, over time, it does kind of weigh down my hair and make it a little bit dirty, like I need to wash it more often. especially when I'm putting it like near my roots. It just, I don't know. I don't love it. And then the blowout spray, I'll continue to use this as like a heat protectant because it, you know, it's good to have for that, but I also don't like how this kind of gives my hair like a little bit of a sticky, stiff feeling. It's not that these are bad products, they're just not really my preference for volumizing products. I also don't like the scent of these as much as some of the other Amika products. This has a little bit of a different scent. It kind of smells like a perfume that I wore from like Rue 21 in middle school. So it kind of just brings me back to that time in my life, and I don't really feel the need to go back to that time in my life like ever again. So, all right, so now for the products I'm not loving. Okay, so starting with this, I was excited to receive this from Octoly. This is the Sol de Janeiro Triple Brazilian Butter Hair Repair Treatment. So it's in the same kind of packaging as the Boom Boom Cream. I'm one of the people that loves the Boom Boom Cream scent. I know it's one of those things that you either love it or you hate it. I personally love it. So they say that this is ideal for medium to thick hair, but then they also say that it's for all hair types, so I thought I would give it a try. I'm kind of picky about hair masks. It needs to be something that's not going to make my hair extra greasy or not going to weigh it down, because like I said, I have fine hair. For reference, I love the Amika Soul Food Mask, and I love the Eva NYC Therapy Session Hair Mask. This is too much for my hair. It just makes my hair get greasy way too quickly. I feel like it just kind of weighs it down, and it does give my hair some nice added moisture and softness, but I don't feel like it's anything more than what those other two masks I mentioned do. And this is just exorbitantly expensive. I think for a hair mask it's like $36, which is, the Amika one is also a little too pricey for me, and that one is $28, so this one is just way too expensive. And I feel like with this kind of a product, you're paying mostly for like the brand name and the scent, and it does leave behind that wonderful scent. It does linger in my hair, which I like. Nathan said that he does really like this, and he has more medium to thick hair and curly hair, so I don't think it's bad, and I think if you have that hair type, you might really like it, but I don't know, I just can't recommend it. It's so expensive, and I feel like there are cheaper ones that do better. The other product that I'm not really loving is the Anastasia Eye Primer. So this also came in that Sultry Vault. This is just a like deluxe sample. It came with a very small amount of product, but it's still probably gonna last a long time. I don't know if maybe I'm just paying more attention now, or if my eyelids have gotten more oily, or if it's because I do have slightly hooded eyes. I just don't really feel like this is doing the trick. Like, I'm getting a little bit of fading and creasing, especially on my right eye. I don't know why my right eye gets more creasing than my left eye, but that's usually the true test for me. And sort of similar to that Ulta eye primer that I was using for a really long time, but like kind of just trying to use up even though I didn't love it. Sort of the same thing. Now, this does have a lot of like almost white pigment to it, so it does just kind of cancel out your eyelid, and I think that's nice because it gives a great strong base, especially for shimmers or any kind of color. It just makes those kinds of things pop. I don't feel like it's like holding on to my shadows as strongly as I would like for it to, so I'm not loving it. But I know a lot of people do like it, so maybe it's just a me problem that I'm working through now with my eyeshadows, but I don't know. If anybody has that same problem as me, is there an eye primer that you feel like gives you just like bulletproof all day wear with your eyeshadows? I also have the Urban Decay Primer Potion that I need to retest because I've been mainly using this. I've only used that one honestly like a handful of times, so maybe that one will be the one for me. And I remember in the past really liking the Milani eyeshadow primer, and I just always kind of felt like there was not really that big of a difference between most eye primers, but now I think I've just gotten more picky / just noticing more when it's not doing the best job. So that is my review roundup of all these products that have recently entered my life. I hope it was helpful for you. I do have a quick announcement before I sign off. So I did talk about this on my Instagram stories earlier, but I am going to be changing my upload schedule. So prior to Vlogmas, when I was uploading every day, my upload schedule was Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And I have decided to actually cut back on uploads and go down to 2 videos a week. So I'm thinking the upload days are going to be Tuesday and Saturday. It does kind of pain me to cut back on uploads because I love YouTube. I love, like, this is my favorite thing in the world. I love it so much, but I do feel like especially with Vlogmas, but even before that with the 3 to 4 videos a week, I felt like it was just so much that I was almost just becoming like a content machine, and I wasn't enjoying the process of filming as much as I want to. And so I feel like this year I really want to focus on quality over quantity. I want to start doing like cute aesthetic like close-ups of products and just putting more thought and research into my videos. So I do think that for now, reducing the number of uploads is going to be helpful so that I can just kind of start to put a little bit more effort into my videos. And I do have a full-time job outside of YouTube, so it has gotten a little bit harder for me to juggle the two, especially trying to upload so much in December. So I do hope to go back to uploading 3 to 4 to 5 videos a week, but for now I think fewer uploads is going to be healthier for me, better for my mental health at this point in time. Even though I'm cutting back to 2 videos, I probably will have a bonus video some weeks, and that would probably go up on Thursday, so it still would be like a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday schedule those weeks. But I'm gonna go ahead and promise 2 videos a week and then hopefully have some bonus videos here and there. I'm kind of a workaholic when it comes to YouTube, and I really, it pains me to do this, but I really do think this is going to be what's best for my channel and for myself right now. So anyway, just wanted to make that quick announcement, but if that does change and we go up to more videos again, I will certainly let you know. But anyway, I guess that means I will talk to you guys on Saturday, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye!